Hey everyone, here's a fun fact for you. 70% of people say they'd rather spend their money on experiences than material possessions. Why? Because the memories we make last so much longer than the latest smartphone or trendy outfit. Today, we're diving into the power of those unforgettable moments and how they shape who we are. Welcome back, friends. Today, we're talking about intangible experiences. Those life-changing, soul-enriching moments that stay with you forever. Think about it. When you look back on your life, you're not going to remember the expensive shoes you bought or the designer bag you carried. You're going to remember the moments that made you feel alive, like that trip to a new country, a meaningful connection with someone, or that adrenaline rush from trying something new. In fact, many people discover new information about their heritage through things like DNA testing. This newfound knowledge often makes them want to explore their roots and themselves through these intangible experiences. And here's the thing, these experiences are becoming more and more important in our fast-paced, material-driven world. We're starting to realize that things don't make us happy, moments do. So let's explore why these experiences are so valuable and how they can truly transform our lives. Now, here's the challenge. How do we capture or measure these intangible experiences? They're not something you can hang on your wall or upload to social media in a neat little package. And because they're not tangible, they often get overlooked or undervalued. Think about it. We live in a world where success is measured by what we own, not what we've experienced. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need more stuff to feel fulfilled. But how often do we stop to reflect on the moments that made us smile, cry, or grow as a person? That's the trap we fall into, valuing the tangible over the intangible. And yet, if you ask anyone about their happiest memory, chances are it's not tied to a physical object, it's tied to an experience. So how do we start recognizing the value of these moments and make time for them in our busy lives? Have you ever thought about what your happiest memory is? Think about it for a second. Was it a vacation, a concert, or perhaps a quiet moment with a loved one? All right, let's dive into some examples of the most profound types of intangible experiences, and I'll share a few of my own along the way. One of my favorite intangible experiences was when my friend and I climbed to the very summit of Mount Fuji in Japan. Let me tell you, this was no easy feat. The altitude was punishing. The winds were blasting at 100 kilometers per hour. And at one point, small rocks were pelting us as we climbed. There were moments where we genuinely asked ourselves, why are we doing this? As we reached the top, we were met with an overcast sky, no breathtaking sunrise to greet us. The view we had hoped for was completely obscured. But you know what? It didn't matter. The journey itself was what counted. We had an absolute blast chatting all the way up, sharing stories, and making friends with fellow climbers along the way. It was one of those moments where the experience and camaraderie outweighed the destination. Climbing Mount Fuji wasn't just about reaching the summit. It was about the laughter, the challenges we faced together, and the memories we created. Then there's the thrill of live performances. I've been lucky enough to experience some incredible ones, like watching sumo wrestling in Japan. It's not just a sport, it's a centuries-old tradition. The intensity, the discipline, and the roaring crowd, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. On the flip side, I've also experienced the electric energy of an ice hockey game in the USA. The fast-paced action, the sound of the puck hitting the ice, and the sheer passion of the fans, it's pure adrenaline. These moments remind me that being part of a live audience creates a sense of community that's hard to replicate. It's the energy, the shared experience, and the way you feel connected to complete strangers in that moment. Have you ever felt that rush of excitement in a crowd? What was the last event that gave you goosebumps? And then, of course, there are the more intimate, personal connections we make. Sometimes it's as simple as sitting down for a coffee with an old friend and having one of those long, meaningful conversations that leaves you feeling lighter. Or maybe it's the laughter you share with family over a meal. These moments don't require grand adventures or big budgets. They're about the people you're with and the bonds you build. They're proof that the most valuable experiences often happen in the simplest, most unexpected ways. Let me share one of the most surprising and meaningful intangible experiences I've ever had. A couple of years ago, during a trip to Kathmandu, Nepal, my friends and I decided to do something spontaneous and booked a momo cooking class. For those of you who don't know, momos are these delicious little dumplings that are super popular in Nepal. When we arrived at the cooking class, we were welcomed warmly by our instructor and gathered around the kitchen table, chopping vegetables, kneading dough, and sharing stories about our lives. At first, we were all trying to make our momos look perfect, but let me tell you, they were disasters. Some were lopsided, others were falling apart, and we just couldn't stop laughing at how bad they looked. But it was in those moments of laughter, of shared imperfection, that something magical happened. By the time we sat down to eat, we didn't care how the momos looked. It was about the experience. The warmth of that shared space, the stories we exchanged, and the way we bonded over our culinary failures made it such a memorable evening. It made me realize that sometimes the most profound experiences come from stepping out of your comfort zone and saying yes to something completely unexpected. Those are the moments that remind us of our shared humanity. And here's the thing, those momos, they were some of the best I've ever tasted. Not because of how they looked, but because of the love and laughter that went into making them. This experience taught me that intangible moments don't have to be extravagant to be meaningful. It's about the people, the connection, and the stories you create along the way. That's what makes them so special. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Intangible experiences, whether they're adventurous, cultural, or deeply personal, are what truly enrich our lives. They remind us of what's important: connection, growth, and living in the moment. Sure, material things can bring temporary happiness, but these experiences, they stay with you forever. They shape who you are and how you see the world. Think back to a moment that changed your perspective. What did it teach you? The next time you have a chance to say yes to an adventure, a live performance, or even just a simple moment with loved ones, go for it. You never know how it might change your life. Now it's your turn. I want to hear about your favorite intangible experiences. Was it a trip, a concert, or a special moment with someone you love? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out my last one, where we dive even deeper into the value of experiences. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep seeking those unforgettable moments.